I'm the first one to do that. I bet you never knew that. Back like a tailbone. Who you got the tail on? If it ain't about me, about whole D, about face. If you ain't on higher, learn it. The soda in the pot and the fire, burn it. This shit is so dope. You might wanna be my guest. This shit is so dope. You might wanna be my.
I don't even know where to start. My mind is literally, after watching this film, a lot of people on my channels have recommended me to watch this film, and I finally seen it, and my mind is like literally spiraling in circles right now. It can't stop. It will not. It refuses to stop being in a straight line of sanity right now. My mind, like to picture this, my mind is like a fish that got his fin cut off and now swimming in a circle. That's how my mind is right now. ICHI the Killer. Yeah, we're talking about ICHI the Killer today. ICHI the Killer, which is called Kuroshira ICHI Hitman 1 in Japanese, is a 2001 Japanese psychological horror thriller crime action film that has been written and directed by Takashi Miike. A sadomasochistic Yakuza enforcer comes across a repressed and psychotic killer who may be able to inflict levels of pain the enforcer can only dream about. Many people that has seen my foreign, Korean, Japanese film reviews, if you look at the comments, people have literally been telling me to watch this film, check this film out, watch it, check it out, watch it, let me know what you think. Even in my anime reviews, people keep telling me to check this film out. And I finally watched it. And I wish that those people that was telling about this film would literally give me a warning. And not just in a way where this film is just packed with just one little explicit material, but this film is packing with so much shit that you gotta be prepared for. This movie was wild, man. This movie was very wild, very unexpected, and I'm pretty sure people that have seen ICHI the Killer the first time can agree with me. This movie is violent. This movie is brutal. This movie is sexy. This movie will make you feel uncomfortable. This movie is every sign of body language, of mental awareness, that will really make your psyche go ape shit. I couldn't take my eyes off it. The film starts off in a fair pace, and I like that because by this film having like this roller coaster hypnosis that you need to buckle up and prepare yourself for, the film wants you to be more intertwined with the character development just as you get intertwined with the story. But as the film starts off, it starts off with a very uncomfortable scene that people need to be aware of. So this is a warning for people who are not comfortable with rape scenes, because they do show a rape scene 5 minutes. Well, you know what, I'm exaggerating. 2 minutes until you get into the film. Well, this girl just really gets her ass beat by this guy, and before he begins to try to get his way with her, man, somebody's watching in the freaking window, busy whacking his shit, and it just shows the introduction of ICHI the Killer. It's way more graphic than that, but it's just a starting point of you being aware, because they showed violence, they showed some sexual references, rape, and even a little sign of brutality, torture in that beginning scene, just letting you know that this whole film is filled with that shit. So if that was enough for you guys to really feel uncomfortable, then maybe you want to stop now. And that's a very bold beginning. I have to give that film that. As we get pulled into the deeper aspect of this film, we introduce the characters, especially the Yakuza cast that is trying to find a missing boss. And I have to give kudos to Tatsunobu Asano, that is played by the main character, Kakehira. First of all, I'm a huge Tatsunobu fan. I was first introduced to his acting performance on Tokyo Zombie. That film is wacky fun. I love that film. For those who love Tatanobu's acting that got y'all pulled into this film, you need to watch Tokyo Zombie. But what made me like his acting was the fact that he can pull off some pretty good performances, man. And by me watching Ichi the Killer, it really proved my point to the point where I was I was surprised still because of how mind blowing his character was. His character was wacky. His character was very psychotic. His character was a fucking crazy ass bastard. There were times on the film where he would make you get pulled into the screen of just him trying to find out where the Yakuza boss is by persuading people, by torturing people, by literally just showing people how much of a badass and how sadistic he is. There was even a scene where he cuts off his own tongue just to show the Yakuza people how loyal he is of him breaking the boundaries of their own word. He's a crazy ass guy. I don't want to get too deep to his character because there's so much of his performance that will make you get pulled into the film itself. Everybody has done well, but his performance will make you feel like, God damn, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? I even had some Joker references to his character too. And it's not just because of the scars on his face, but because of how sadistic he acts when it comes to him looking death in the eyes and just making a mockery out of it. If this is how you are when it comes to you being a killing machine, show me how you are. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, Tatanobu. I didn't even think this was him. I thought this was another person. That's how well he was. And by me being a fan of him up until this point, man, I am on board from start to finish. And I was surprised that they actually added Shinya Sakamoto on this film. Now, I've known Shinya since the Tetsuo films. And by me watching Ichi the Killer and seeing how wacky this film is, I was actually telling myself, you know what, Shinya wouldn't be a bad idea if they put him on here. And what do you know, after 10 or 20 minutes into the film, they actually showed him. And I'm like, what the fuck? Now, excuse the wackiness in the whole performances of what they show us in the film when it comes to the blood and gore and the tension and all the other detail of the explicit content. Shinya Sakamoto really pulled me into this. Was actually, this felt like his territory. This actually felt like his playground, and he made me like his character a lot more than I expected to. He was heartwarming at times, and then there were times where he would flip out and just do a lot of apeshit shit. Not like Tatanobu, but in his own way, of his own insanity level. They was both crazy in their own way, where it felt like two animals showing off how deadly they are in their own aspect tone. And Shinya, fuck. He even did a scene on this film that really made me crack up. A lot of critics today would really put this film down of the lack of tension and the lack of detail they put in this film, but I could tell they was having fun. And by me watching Tetsuo, the Iron Man, the first time, I was expecting that here on this one, which I can see why a lot of people was giving me Tetsuo a lot of shit. But hey, I can excuse it on this one. So Shinya Sakamoto, his performance was great. His performance was memorable, and above all, his performance is what made partially of this film very, very, very enjoyable in my opinion. Later on, we are pulled to the main engine of the film, the tension itself, the main reason why people are recommending this film to a lot of people. Now, this is the reason why I'm smoking, because I have to warn you fans of each of the explicit content that is on this film. This film is violent. This film is brutal, like I mentioned. This film has everything that makes this film restricted. They went above and fucking beyond on this film. This film has so much blood and gore to the point where there are even torture scenes on this film. And I'm not surprised. This film has Yakuza. They want answers. They need people to start pigging out and start snitching. So there was times where they had their hand forced, and the torture scenes was no fucking joke. This film is so fucking crazy. This film, the torture scenes is really what got me more than anything other than that. Sex scenes on here, was very graphic. I mean, very graphic. They actually show similarities of what you can already know what they're doing. Oral sex scenes. It's when it comes to foreign films. This is the reason why I like this movie a lot, because this is a breath of fresh air of so many restrictions that Hollywood is. They would never do a movie like this. They would not. Only if it's filled with agendas. But man, Ichi the Killer is bursting with so much shit here that would make your body rupture with so much emotion. The rape scenes on here are no joke either. Another warning for people that is not comfortable with rape. They show rape here and they don't shy away from that shit. The film's pacing of the character development was done very well. They even fleshed out the character development of the main character, Ichi himself. Naomi Mari and Sakichi Sato did a very, very, very good job. It was so good to the point where I did not know what side to take, the Yakuza side or the killer side, because they showed a story of just how he became the killer and just how he felt towards people when it comes to him trying to commit these murderous acts. But what pulled me in more than anything was the fact that they showed a backstory of just how he felt when he was bullied as a kid and how he ended up being a killer in the first place. I just like the fact that they actually had to put some wackiness to it of just how he kills and just shows his confined targets of just him doing just him using kick attacks by him playing Tekken so much. I don't know much about Tekken, but the way he was confirming his kills and just killing people and cutting people in half and just doing kick moves, he probably got those moves from Haorong or Kazuya. One of those two. I could be wrong. Not to mention that the tension on this film was done pretty well too. There was times when they was trying to find a killer and they did not know who it was. And then when Ichi would come across the Yakuza or he would just talk to them or whatever when they try to save him from being bullied, it would build up and you would feel that uncomfort tensions. There would even be times when Shinya Sakamoto would be talking to other people and they would literally ask him serious questions. Or there'll be times when Tadanobu will come in confrontations of his own emotions by him loving to, he loves to be tortured, he loves to be beaten to a pulp, that's one of his fetishes. And that's kind of one of the main reasons why he's trying to find his killer in the first place, to see how threatening and imposing he is. But at the same time, when they go across these demons, when they go across to try to confront their own well-being, the movie makes you feel this gravitation. It's like this film shows so much blood and gore, so much rape, so much sex, so much exposure to the point where when we are at a downtime, the downtime is filled with tension. So at that time, so we still feel uncomfortable. But hey, it's like pick your poison. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but a lot of films don't do this. When they give us downtime, they give us downtime. But with Ichi the Killer, the downtime is them adding tension to the characters to see how fucked up they will be when they find out what their real intentions are to the public. Not that this film is already good enough, they decide to add a twist to it. It is not like one of those twists where it's like, damn, wow, okay, well, let's go on. The twist will flip the whole film. Everything I mentioned, everything I talked about, everything I warned about, it will flip the whole fucking film upside down. And I wasn't ready for that shit. So you have to look at the film in a whole new angle at this point, because when they show you this twist, it puts everything together, but at the same time, it adds more questions to the film that they soon answer later in the first place. Overall, this film was a hellish ride. I'm thankful to people who was recommending me to watch this film. To be fair, I already had this film in my collection. I own so many movies, DVDs, Blu-rays, and box sets that I didn't even know that I even had this fucking film. There's a lot of people recommend me to watch a lot of films that I didn't even know I owned. So I'm sorry for the lack. I'm sorry for me getting into this film now. But for those who have not seen Ichi the Killer, you gotta check it out. This needs to be added to your collection, especially if you like foreign, Korean, and Japanese films to begin with. I'm gonna have to give Ichi the Killer an A+. Beautiful, 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 beautiful to perfection. I haven't given a foreign Korean film or Japanese film in general an A+ since Fallen Angels. But that just shows how good this film is. And that just shows how much I understand people wanted me to check out this film or whatever. Ooh, man. If y'all want to check this film out, please take my warnings for consideration. I try to find these films on YouTube, but the way how strict YouTube is, you won't be able to find them. And I don't mind that. Shit like that shouldn't even be on YouTube, honestly. But to be fair here, the way how they show like these scenes, they're gory, but at the same time you can tell how fake they are. But your mind still connects to how real it should be, so that they knew what they was doing. But other than that, that's all I have to say for today. Please stay tuned for more upcoming reviews and videos headed your way. This is Hugo, the critic teacher, and you guys have a good day.